Well, I think the biggest thing is I told him first thing we're going to do is forget about last year. I think that's very crucial in our thinking because it is a new year, it's a new group. You can't live in the past, you can only live in the future.
That was second-year head coach and reigning OAC Coach of the Year, Tim Daup, with his goals and expectations for the 2013 Otterbein football season. Hello and thanks for watching OTV. This is the inaugural broadcast of Cardinal Kickoff, where you can get up-to-date stats, interviews, and everything else you need on OU football. I'm David Kinder, joined with Jordan Brown, and we are here high above in the Memorial Stadium press box, where in a few days, Otterbein will kick off their 124th season of football against St. John Fisher. Jordan, how you doing?
Good. It's good to see all the students back. We just had a first week of school, and everybody's pumped and ready for the weekend.
Well, last year's team was only projected to finish 7th at OAC Media Day, and with Otterbein grad Tim Daup starting his first season, there wasn't much reason to be optimistic about the year. However, this team surprised all doubters, going 8-2 to finish 3rd in the conference. And Jordan, this was a team that got it done with its defense last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was, David. 4 players placed on either first or second team All-OAC. Pat Schultz led the conference in sacks, while Anthony Korpeski led the OAC in interceptions. Driven by a great front seven, they allowed just 298 yards per game, second only to Mount Union. And not surprisingly, the only 2 times this year Otterbein allowed more than 20 points in a game were the 2 defeats they suffered by Mount Union and Heidelberg.
There were a lot of fantastic games last year, but in my mind, none stood out more than the night game that we played here at Memorial Stadium against Muskingum. With starter quarterback Aaron Kincaid aggravating his injury again, sophomore Ben Sizemore stepped in with the Cards' undefeated season on the line. Sizemore threw for 201 yards and 3 scores to narrowly escape the Muskies by 10. Jordan, you were sideline reporter for these Cardinals last year. What game stood out the most to you last year?
I'm going to go with the Capital game. With it being the school's rivalry, it's always exciting. The Cards only led the Crusaders 7-3 going into the half. Nick Gaines, with a long field goal in the third, put the Cards up 10-3, but not enough for a comfortable lead as Capital scored the first touchdown of the game. After an interception returned for a touchdown by Pat Schultz, the extra point attempt by Alana Gaither was blocked, definitely keeping the crowd on the edge of their seats. But with Zach Yossi making an outstanding 92-yard interception, Otterbein was able to ensure the win. Without a doubt, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, it's always nice to go out there and beat hated Capital, especially a season like last year. Well, there were a lot of great plays last year. Now we're going to take a look at the top 10 plays from the 2012 football season. Starting off number 10, Alana Gaither makes school history. She becomes the first female to kick a field goal at Otterbein with this 19-yarder. Number 9, OU had 3 defensive scores against Wilmington. Here's one of them, Shane Little, 24 yards on the fumble return. We'll stay in Wilmington. Aaron Korpeski set the school record for career interceptions last year. He had 2 in this game, both of them for scores. This one is the second of them for 27 yards. Here's Korpeski again, this with his 6th interception of the year. This one goes for 65 yards to help down Marietta in a 20-point Cardinal win. At number 6, taking on JCU, quarterback Aaron Kincaid finds Steve Carpenter in stride. The 4th quarter pass puts OU up for 2 touchdowns and goes for 69 yards. With time winding down in the game with hated Capital, junior safety Zach Gulitz intercepts a desperation Ryan McSweeney pass. He picks up a key block from Zach Grievous and dives for a 92-yard score, Otterbein's longest touchdown play of the season. Bree, Ohio we go. Joey Robertson takes the swing pass from Kincaid. Kincaid gets credit for an 82-yard pass, but it's Robertson that does all the work. Toes the sideline, makes a defender fall down to spur the Cards to a win. Number 3, we go back to Wilmington. Kincaid finds Trey Fairchild diving for a 10-yard score. Trey Fairchild could be a highlight reel himself. Ben Sizemore in the shotgun against the Muskies. Trey Fairchild makes a one-handed grab for one of his 4 receiving touchdowns on the year. Could there be another? Last game of the year, Otterbein goes out with a bang. Sizemore pitches to running back Brock Brzenko. His first career pass looks like Johnny Unitas hits Chris Irwin in stride for 61 yards on the halfback pass and the touchdown. Well, the 2012 season is behind us, and with the 2013 season on the horizon, Otterbein opened camp on August 15th. I headed to the practice field to talk to Coach Daup and see his feelings on the upcoming season.
So, our goal is to win. It's a 1 week season every week. So whoever we're playing that week, that's the main focus. We don't look forward to anything. I don't give expectations of we have to be 9-1, we have to be 6-4. None of that. We have one goal every week, and that's to win the ball game, and that's all we talk about.
Well, that was a great interview hearing from Coach Daup, and it sounds like he might have a decision to make before the game on Saturday.
Yeah, we heard Coach Daup mention that there will be a quarterback competition this year between the junior Brick Davis and the senior gunslinger Ben Sizemore. Here's what Coach Daup had to say about it at OAC Media Day.
We'll start with the quarterback situation. Last year we had Aaron Kincaid, came in. We were 5-0. And he gets hurt. Ben Sizemore stepped in as a junior, won 3 games for us. He is back, and then we also have Brick Davis, who will be a junior, and he won 1 game for us. So, the quarterback spot, I feel pretty good. It'll be a good competition.
So a competition for the job of signal caller. How do you see this one shaping out this year, Jordan?
Well, both of them had a huge effect on the team's success last year. Sizemore started after the injury to Kincaid, and as we heard Coach Daup say, won 5 games for the Cards. Brick Davis played in 5 games and started against Capital. And while he wasn't dazzling against the Crusaders, he did throw for 130 yards and played effectively enough to get the win. Regardless of who gets the start, they'll have a daunting task because the Cardinal team ranked in the bottom half of the OAC last year in rushing.
Another interesting note this year will be that of the number of senior defensive end Zach Grivas. Zach has won number 94 for 3 straight years. However, he'll change to number 5 this year. This is what he had to say on the change at OAC Media Day when asked by Commissioner Tim Gleason.
I'm not exactly sure how many years back it was, but probably about 5-6 years ago, a player for Otterbein, Josh Worthington, died in a car crash, actually. So ever since then, as like an honor to him, because he was such a dedicated athlete and worked so hard that he was number 5, and they give out number 5 to someone who they feel like shows commitment to the team and leadership and those qualities. So this year, Coach asked me if I would take it, and I had 94 for all 3 years I've been here, but without a doubt, it's such an honor, and I can't thank Coach enough for giving me the privilege to wear number 5, and I just want to honor Josh by doing everything I can to be the kind of person he was.
A very nice tradition started here at Otterbein. Well, as we take a look forward to the 2013 football season, we can see that opening day is fast approaching. Otterbein has 6 home games this year at Memorial Stadium and 2 night games against Baldwin-Wallace and Heidelberg. Remember, you can see all 6 home games live on OTV and the road games on 97.5 WOBN. So Jordan, playing in the OAC is never an easy task. What game do you see as being the most difficult for these Cardinals this year?
It's definitely not an easy task, but I'm going to go with Heidelberg and Mount Union. Because the 2 schools gave Otterbein their only 2 losses of the season last year, I think the team's going to come out extra hungry and ready to go.
Well, as we mentioned, opening day is fast approaching, and the Week 1 opponent this year will be St. John Fisher. And a little know your opponent, St. John Fisher was founded in 1948 in Pittsford, New York, a Rochester suburb. With an enrollment hovering around 2,800, their athletic teams play in the Empire 8 Conference. The football team was established in 1971 and will travel 400 miles for their first ever game with Otterbein. This is the team entering Week 1 ranked 24th in Division III football. And what stands out to you about this other Cardinals team, Jordan?
I think it's a team that really values tradition. In the past decade, Paul Vosper has been head coach since 1991 and has moved them to one of the Division III powers. They have made the playoffs 3 consecutive years, and as you mentioned, come into this season ranked 24th in the nation. And for the Cardinals, their entire attack hinges on their outstanding senior back, Cody Miller. He was a 1,000-yard back last year and had 12 touchdowns. Ryan Kramer returns to the quarterback spot, and he was the one with the most effective one of the most effective passers in the league. So David, Otterbein has their hands full with this St. John Fishers team.
They certainly do, but if anyone's up for this task, it'll be Coach Daup's boys. Well, every week here on Cardinal Kickoff, we like to end the show with a segment called Football Flashback, where we take a look back at something notable in Otterbein football history. The game of American football got its start in the 1860s. It was a rough combination of soccer and rugby by the time Princeton challenged Rutgers to the first officially recognized game in November of 1869. The violent game had slowly spread west and by 1890 had reached Otterbein.
Otterbein got interested in football when a chapel speaker came to town who was telling them about this great new interesting sport that had been developed out on the East Coast. All the big schools were playing it, and the Otterbein students were interested. So a couple of guys got together, pooled their money, and bought a football. The guys went out, organized themselves as a team, and got the clocks cleaned that first year. I think there was only one game, maybe two games, and they were trounced in both pretty soundly. So the next year, they found themselves a coach. The coach was able to train them, discipline them, give them the refinements of the game that they really couldn't pick up just by reading about it in a book. And that was the first year that we actually beat the Ohio State University on the gridiron. Of course, the sad truth is that the following year, OSU got a coach, and, well, they cleaned our clocks. However, over the next 2 decades or so, we did meet OSU a couple more times, and I am pleased to say that we beat them a couple more times.
They certainly were different times back then, so before we go, Jordan, let's get a score prediction and your final thoughts for Saturday's game.
Score prediction, I'm going to go 24-21 Otterbein Cardinals. I think with this being their first game at home, the Cardinals are hungry for a win, and they want to show the nation that they might have a better season than 8-2 this time around.
That'd be certainly great. I'm going to say 24-17. Otterbein gets it done and goes 1-0 on the season. Well, we'd like to remind you, if you can't make it to Memorial Stadium on Saturday, you can watch the game streaming live on Otterbein.tv. The pregame show will start around 1 o'clock, and the game itself will kick off at 1:30. I'll have play-by-play, Harris and Ralph will have color commentary, and our own Jordan Brown will be on the sidelines. We thank you for watching the inaugural episode of Cardinal Kickoff. Keep it locked to OTV. Thanks for watching, and go Cards!